Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing a viewer request video. I have been asked to do a comparison between Minifee and between a Popovy sisters BJD. So I'm going to do that now. The best way to compare them is going to be unclothed. So this is your warning that there is going to be some doll nudity, and Landy, which is the Popovy doll, she has some very extremely detailed anatomy. So I'm just going to put that out there. Hopefully the YouTube folks in charge will not ban this video, but we will see what happens here in a minute. So the first couple of obvious things while they're still clothed is that the Popovy doll is very slim. I know that Minifee is considered sometimes a slim MSD doll, but Popovy is much slimmer. I say much, but I compare her sort of to Barbie. She can wear some Barbie clothes actually. They're about the same height, so if you lay them next to each other, they're both about 16 inches tall or so. But let's go ahead and unclothe them and then go from there. Okay, both dolls are now unclothed. One of the big comparison points that I like to make on these two dolls is just about price. So a Minifee bare bones blank doll you can get for around $400. The least expensive Popovy doll you can get is going to be $800. Now, there are different body types for Minifee. I am not actually well versed in them all. I know there's the A line versus the Mo line. This girl is A line with cutie legs. For the Mo line, I'm not really sure what all the differences are that are involved. And you can get different bust sizes with Minifee. With Popovy, it's one of the 4 body types, and so it's body 1, body 2, and body 2 you can get with a neck joint or without a neck joint. Body 3, which is this body, and then there's the new body 4, and body 4 has some scarification on the body. So you can see that with the Popovy doll, there is a lot more detail. So I'm going to just show you the Minifee first. So Minifee, you know, you've got very kind of generic body parts, and you know, you've got the ab sculpting there, you've got some definition here, you've got jointing up at the hips, you've got this joint here at the waist that doesn't really, you know, you can't really do too much with that. The leg turns and spins, same thing, like the arms, you've got the double joints in the elbows, and the hands are jointed. There's no neck joint, so you just got the head joint there. The knees there's your joint on the knee for Minifee. So Minifee is less detailed in the sculpt. Posing's pretty good for Minifee. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's not bad either. So, and Minifee has magnetic feet, so you can take the feet off for dressing, and also magnetic hands, so you can remove the hands for easy clothing on and off. So now let's talk about Popovy, and this is where I'm going to bring her close to the camera so you're going to really see some up close doll nudity here, so watch your children. Okay, so you can see the detail like sculpted here. First of all, you have a super detailed neckline. You've got all this, I forget what this thing is even called. You've got all this detail here. You've got the neck joint, which you can move, and that's actually really handy for doing different poses with the doll. I really like it. Then there are 2 joints here in the chest, which you've got this joint that kind of moves on the torso. Now this is body 3. Body 2 and body 1 are less jointed than this, so I don't have those bodies, so I can't do a comparison with those. I hope one day to get one of each, but for now I've only got body 3. And you know, so there's all these different movements you can do with these, and you can see the detail in the back. You know, you've got the dimpling here, you can see like the spine. So these dolls are really, really, really detailed, extremely detailed. When we're talking about the jointing, you can see the joint here is much more, I mean, I can fold her arm in half pretty much. So you can kind of do this. And with these dolls, you can choose whether you want magnetic or stringed hands, and I chose magnetic, so you just pull the hand off and you can put it back on. Now these are the Landy hands. They have the pointy fingernails. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on that. It doesn't really want to, but the Landy hands have the really pointy fingernails, so when you see those, that's them. As for the knee joint, so you've got the same thing kind of up at the leg. You've got this joint here that moves on top of the hip joint here, and then the knee joint is very well done. Same thing, you can pretty much fold this leg in half. So where Minifee is more constrained because she doesn't have quite the range of motion, which you would expect that because Minifee is half the price for the bare minimum of what you can get. She's half the price of the bare minimum you can get from Popovy. Now that was the prices last time I ordered. The Popovy dolls do go up in price from time to time because their demand is so high that they just can't get, they can't necessarily, you know, keep up with demand, I think. So the prices do change from time to time. Plus they use a lot of really interesting materials like silks and antique things from different places. The feet on Popovy are stringed. So you have the ballet feet or you can get the heeled feet. Both of my girls have the ballet feet. It seems to me like they're doing more ballet feet now, although I'm not sure. And then if you look at the detail in the feet, the detail is just incredible. I mean, you can see the veining, and that veining is sculpted in, plus painted. I selected a really talented artist, Anaku, to do my face up and body blushing for this doll, and she did a great job. So, but that veining is actually sculpted in there. So if you compare that to this, I mean, I think you can see like there is a clear difference in quality there, and you would expect there to be. So if we talk about resin types, so I like to talk about the resin as well because nothing feels better in your hands than a really nice piece of quality resin. The Popovy dolls are a high quality Russian resin. If you've gotten other dolls from Russian casting companies, they are really amazing. They do a great job. There are no seam lines. You're not going to find a line on this doll anywhere. The resin is really smooth. Everything's been sanded very well. Just a beautiful color, and it feels heavy in your hand. So I can hold this doll in my hand and she feels heavy in quality. Minifee feels almost hollow in comparison. Now Minifee does have some good heft to her, but the resin is a totally different feel. So the resin feels cheaper, which it is. I mean, I would imagine it is cheaper. The doll is half the cost, right? So this resin feels a lot cheaper. It doesn't feel the same sort of quality as Popovy is, and it's obviously not sanded nearly as well as this doll, as the Popovy dolls are. And I would say that could even have to do, and I'm not a resin expert, but because of the type of resin, so if you hear this versus that, you can hear this is a more dense resin. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but this one makes a like more hollow tapping sound, where this one's a more bass, like deep, rich, dense resin sound. And so I'm thinking that's probably why they can't do a whole lot of sanding on these dolls. It's because the resin's just not capable of withstanding it. So I can get her legs to kind of do that. That's about as far as I can go. But Popovy, she can go all the way back, and she can kind of do this. Like she can make all sorts of amazing poses. They're both great dolls. I have both in my collection and they're great for different things. They're totally two different aesthetics completely. So this is the more fun, like kawaii and cute and even like fashion doll sort of thing. But where this is like an art piece. So these dolls are more like an art piece that you want to put high quality clothes on or lingerie. A lot of people display their dolls in their Popovies in lingerie because they want to show off these gorgeous bodies. Now I don't display mine in lingerie, and that's frankly just because I don't have any for her. All I have are like fully clothed outfits, and I haven't really found a set that I was in love with. But if anybody knows of a great purple set of lingerie for Landy here, let me know, because I would like to have one. I think she would look really cool displayed in lingerie, and people just like to show these dolls off because the entire body is a work of art, where these dolls are fun to dress and play with and whatnot. Now, as far as ordering goes, you know, these dolls you can order from Fairyland, or here in the States we order from Denver Doll Emporium. Ordering for Popovy, you send them an email. So you send an email to Sisters Doll. I can't remember if it's sisters.doll or sistersdoll@gmail.com, and they will get back to you pretty quickly. Igor is the guy that runs all their orders and takes care of everything, and he will send you the most current price list, but he will tell you that the prices may change because the prices do fluctuate. And so you can take a look at everything and get your order together. You do have to wire them the money in order to purchase your doll, which I know I've had some friends that had trouble with that, and I kind of talked them through it. You can go to your bank and do it. I did mine through my online banking, but I have said this before, I am a treasury professional, so I send wires every day at my job for a living, so that was no big leap for me. I know how to send a wire properly, and I know, you know, the proper measures to do to take that. So if you're wanting to get one, I would recommend at least calling your bank, if not physically going there for that. But as far as shareable items, they're not really going to be able to share anything. The Popovy wig is more like a 4 or 5, and you can see my girl's ears are pierced, and I requested that from the sisters. You can choose pierced or not. That's not an extra cost to get them pierced. And then where Minifee is more a 6'7". So you've got the 6'7" head versus the 4'5" head. Huge difference in head size there. And you can just see them back to back or side by side here. They're much different in width. And I'm going to remove their wigs and actually do a back to back so you guys can see that. Oh, this wig's caught in her earring. There we go. So that one's off. And then Chloe here. So we got Chloe, and then I've got Landy, and there they are back to back. So that really shows you a good comparison of what their size looks like. So much different sizes, much different size, much higher quality resin, sanding, sculpting, everything. Still a super fun doll right here. Minifee is so much fun. So I'm not trashing at all Minifee. Like I'm just, you know, Minifee is half the price. So you're going to get more quality with your Popovy doll. And as far as comparison size wise, they're about the same height. The height's about the same on them, but you know, everything else, the Minifee's just going to be a little bit thicker all the way around from the head to the toes. So hopefully that answered any questions. If you had questions about a comparison between like a standard, more common BJD versus Popovy. And oh, one other thing I wanted to mention about Popovy is that that $800 price doesn't include eyes or anything. That's like the bare minimum for one of the simpler body types. So, and of course, $400 for Minifee doesn't include, I think it includes eyes, but I don't think anybody keeps the Fairyland eyes in there because they're kind of, you know, I don't know, I don't like them. But anyway, so those are kind of your price differences. There's the difference between the dolls themselves. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. It's kind of interesting to me to compare a completely factory kind of produced doll to a high quality art doll. That was a fun comparison to do. So thank you very much for the recommendation or for the suggestion. And I hope this was helpful. For those of you who are looking for something like this. If so, please leave me a comment below and let me know that you enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.